I'm here to show you something that I'm very, very excited about. The first disc that I ever got to do a stamp for. So this is the War Dove from Premier Discs, which is a new disc golf company from South Dakota. They do their own injection molding and they make these really sweet discs. This is one of their two putters. They've got the War Dove and the War Pigeon. I think it's the second stamp that they've done for the War Dove only. So it's really, really sweet that I got to do my first stamp design. When I first started playing disc golf, I definitely was thinking about how I could incorporate art into disc golf. I guess because I'm trying to think about how I can incorporate art into everything. Disc golf in general, I think, really lends itself to art. I definitely wanted to be able to design some stamps for hot stamping onto the discs. And there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing that, but it's really awesome to be able to work with a company to make something that is a stamp that they want on their discs. In this particular case, the owner of Premier Discs wanted something that was a dove's head with a third eye and a mushroom cloud in the center of the eye. And it's cool to have a client who knows like really pretty much what they have in mind and can explain it to you. And they were really easy and fun to work with. We did a few different edits of it, and this is the one that they were happy with. I'm glad that it definitely has my art style in there. I think that they saw a lot of like the third eye type of things that I do in some of my designs, and thought that that would actually work really well with something that they had in mind. So I'm just so happy with how it turned out. I like that it looks kind of hand-drawn. I like that it is, I like that the text works so well with it. And just in general, it's so cool to work on something on a drawing on my iPad and then end up having it be on a disc that a bunch of people are throwing around. So that's the other thing that I want to talk about is the actual plastic of Premier Discs, because it's some very cool stuff and it's some of my favorite that I've ever felt. So this is their Alpha plastic, and it has this kind of gumminess and flexiness to it, but still isn't super bendy. It's still pretty stiff, but it has, it's just so grippy and it's so interesting and so cool. And now that I've been throwing one around for a few months, or maybe a couple months, I can give my really accurate opinion on how it has beat in compared to other discs that I have, and just in general, also the difference between the two kinds of plastic that they have. They have the eco plastic. It's made partially out of recycled plastic, and it's the one that I would think that you would probably want to use for your actual putting putter. But this one is actually really gummy, so as long as it's not wet out or something like that, then this actually in the summertime seems to be pretty sticky and likes to stick to the chains and be pretty good for a putter also. Where I think that it really shines is as a throwing putter, because it is definitely very stable. You could say overstable, but if you put a little bit of anhyzer on it and throw it pretty hard, you can get it to turn a little bit. I've definitely done that a couple times on accident. I'm gonna mix in here into the video some shots of me throwing the War Dove, but you've got to understand that I'm not the greatest in the world, which you will probably be able to see that from the video anyways. It'll definitely show the overstability in the flight of the disc. I've actually enjoyed flicking this. It's a little bit of a deeper disc than, if I think about approach discs that are overstable, a lot of times I'm thinking about something like a Toro or a Zone or something like that is pretty shallow and is what I prefer usually for flicking, but it's not too deep that I can't do it, and I've definitely used it that way a few times, and I've got some of that in the video where you can see me actually getting quite a bit of distance using it as a driver. So that's not really typically what you would do, is flick this thing or maybe use it as a driver, but on short holes it would be a great driver. The overstability is really great. It's super reliable. This is also the Ecoplastic. So these ones definitely do beat in a little bit more. The Ecoplastic, what I would think is your putting putter plastic. This one is definitely more stiff, actually. It has a great hand feel, but it definitely, if you ding it off of trees and stuff, this one definitely will beat in a lot faster than, say, this one that is in the Alpha Plastic. So in the couple months that I've been throwing mine in the Alpha Plastic, I've hit all sorts of trees and things with it, and it's like not beating in at all. It still is just as stable, and the plastic it's got like that kind of self-healing feel to it almost. I would definitely compare this plastic to like my Castoplast soft plastic, which just feels really nice in the hand. It's definitely also one of my favorites. So if you think about other things that have been being compared to that, I would say that it's in line with that kind of plastic, which is just super nice and super premium feeling, and not too hard, but not too soft. Like, it's just a really, really cool plastic, and it is a throwing putter that I'm using constantly for my approach shots. It's so reliable, feels great in the hand. I love this. It's kind of in line with what I would also say is has like a feel in your hand like an AVR, but it's definitely more stable than any of my AVRs that I have. So it's awesome. Check it out. And it's just so fun that I got to do this stamp design also. It's just a really, really sick new disc to try out, and I'm excited to see what else Premier does and hopefully work with them again in the future.